Hey guys, it's Sarah from Sleepopolis, and today we're taking a look at the Bearaby Tree Napper, which is a hand-knit weighted blanket made exclusively from plant-based materials. But what does it feel like? How do you wash it? Is it really worth the dough? Let's take a look. So before I get into my first impressions of the Tree Napper, I just want to say if throughout the course of this video any questions come up or you want a personal recommendation from me, please feel free to give me a shout in the comment section below and I'd be happy to help. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is this is unlike any weighted blanket I've ever tested, and I've tested quite a few. It's got this open loop weave that's got me wondering where is the weighted material and what's even making this blanket so heavy. So let's take a closer look. So like I said, the Tree Napper is completely hand knit, and it's got this open loop weave that you can kind of stretch and pull a little bit, but from top to bottom, the entire thing is made from Tencel. Now, some of you might already be familiar with Tencel as I've reviewed a ton of Tencel-based sheets, but Tencel is actually the trademark name for lyocell, which is a sustainably sourced material made from wood pulp. Specifically, wood pulp from eucalyptus trees, hence the name Tree Napper. But what I think is really interesting about this blanket is that there's no artificial material that's giving the blanket this weight. So in my experience testing weighted blankets, it's usually glass beads or plastic pellets that's providing the weight of the blanket. But this is getting its weight from just layer after layer of tree fabric, which I have to say is pretty cool. Now, I've got the 15-pound blanket here, but it is available in 20 and 25-pound options as well. And if you need a little refresher about how to pick the weight that's best for you, you go with the weight that's closest to 10% of your own body weight. Now, if you want to learn more about how to pick the best weighted blanket for you or learn more about the benefits of using a weighted blanket, just Google Sleepopolis, best weighted blankets. It'll be the first thing that pops up, and I dive into much deeper detail. Now, additionally, the color of this blanket is called hibiscus, but it's also available in May Lily, which is sort of like an ivory color, and lavender as well. And I have to say, they all look very pretty. So now that we know more about what this weighted blanket is made of, let's recap the highlights and potential pitfalls so you know if it's the right pick for you. So there's a lot to like about the Tree Napper. First of all, it's by far the most eco-friendly weighted blanket I've ever tested. So like I said, it's made from 100% Tencel, which is eucalyptus-based wood pulp, and the whole Tencel production process actually saves a ton of water and uses a lot less water than, say, cotton, for example. It's also fully biodegradable, which makes it one of the most sustainable fabrics on the market, and I love that it's made completely of Tencel and there's not a single artificial material to be seen here. Now, speaking of which, I really appreciate that it's hand knit and features this open loop weave that really promotes a lot of breathability. A common complaint that I hear about weighted blankets is the weight and the warmth of the cover fabric is kind of almost a little bit too much. It can be a little too warming. But I will say, and as someone who always runs hot, the open loop weave is really promoting a lot of breathability, allowing air to flow through the blanket. So if you're looking for something specifically for summertime or you're just worried about warming up a little bit too much, I think this might be a good pick for you. Now, something I really appreciate about the Tree Napper is it's machine washable and dryable, which makes it the first weighted blanket I've ever tested that isn't spot clean only. Now, you do want to wash it separately and individually, so by itself, but all you got to do is use a cold gentle cycle, mild detergent, and tumble dry on low heat. Now, the folks at Bearaby do suggest that you don't try to line dry this because it can kind of cause the loops to stretch out a little bit. But it's also worth noting that you may find that you need to run it through the dry cycle more than once to get it completely dry. Of course, there are a few things to note about the Tree Napper before you make your purchase. So first of all, not everyone's going to be into the hand-knit open loop weave design we got going on here. In fact, some folks probably prefer the traditional weighted blanket that's filled with plastic pellets or glass beads or something like that. Now, personally, I prefer how breathable and sort of cooling this blanket is, but if you are looking for something a little more warm and cozy, you might be better off elsewhere. Now, another thing to think about is style. So again, personally, I love the colors that this blanket comes in, but if lavender, May Lily, and hibiscus don't blend with your personal style, it's definitely something to consider. Now, that said, Bearaby does offer the classic napper, which is made from cotton, and the velvet napper, which is made from velvet, and those blankets do come in a bunch of colors. Now, of course, if you've ever been shopping for a weighted blanket, you've probably noticed that they are a little bit pricey, and ranging from $250 to $280, the Tree Napper is no exception. Now, it does come with a 30-day return policy, which takes the pressure off a little bit. Got to take a month to decide if this is the right fit for you, and if you decide it's not, you can either be refunded or exchange it. Well, that's it for me, but for every last detail on the Bearaby Tree Napper, be sure to check out my full written review, which is linked below. And remember, if you want to find out how this weighted blanket compares to other weighted blankets that I've tested, just Google Sleepopolis best weighted blankets will be the first thing that pops up. Now, I do hope you found this review to be helpful, and if you did, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media. We're always uploading more content with one main thing in mind, to get you some better sleep. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.